Ravenshade was a town forgotten by time. It was shrouded in mist and mystery. The old buildings stood like crooked teeth looming over the narrow cobblestone streets. Among them was Thornhill Curiosities, a dusty antique shop filled with strange and unsettling objects. The shop was crammed full of dusty furniture and peculiar trinkets. Cobwebs clung to every corner, and the air was thick with the scent of decay and something ancient. Maya Thompson, a curious and adventurous teenager, stepped into the shop. She had heard whispers of Thornhill curiosities, legends and rumors of cursed items that filled her with a thrilling sense of dread. Maya's eyes darted around, taking in the bizarre collection. Her gaze fell upon a beautiful, ornately carved music box. It lay nestled amongst a pile of tarnished silver. The music box was made of dark, polished wood, adorned with silver etchings of twisted vines and a solitary raven. Maya was immediately drawn to it. The shopkeeper, a stooped old man with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of secrets, watched her with a mixture of amusement and caution. His shop was filled with relics from bygone eras, each item whispering tales of the past.
Interested in that, are you? Beautiful, isn't she? But be warned, child, some things are best left undisturbed. This music box has a history, one that is not entirely pleasant.
Maya, however, was captivated by the music box. Its intricate design and the promise of a hidden melody drew her in like a moth to a flame. She brushed aside the shopkeeper's warning, dismissing it as the ramblings of a superstitious old man. She had always been skeptical of such tales.
"How much?" she asked. Her curiosity piqued, and her desire to own the music box growing stronger by the second.
She asked, her fingers tracing the intricate carvings on the lid. The craftsmanship was exquisite, each detail telling a story of its own. The shopkeeper named a price, his eyes never leaving Maya's face as she eagerly pulled out the money. He seemed to hesitate for a moment, as if reconsidering the sale.
"Don't say I didn't warn you." His voice was grave, carrying the weight of countless untold stories.
He muttered, his words barely audible, as Maya practically skipped out of the shop. The thrill of her new acquisition overshadowed any lingering doubts. Clutching the music box tightly, Maya hurried home. She couldn't wait to hear the melody it held. The anticipation was almost unbearable. She ignored the uneasy feeling that had settled in her stomach. The shopkeeper's warning echoed in the back of her mind, but she quickly pushed it away. She was determined to uncover the secrets of the music box, no matter the cost. That night, alone in her room, Maya carefully placed the music box on her bedside table. The room was dimly lit, casting long shadows on the walls, and the air was thick with anticipation. She ran her fingers over its smooth surface, feeling the intricate carvings beneath her fingertips. She hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding, before finally lifting the lid. The instant the lid sprang open, a chill ran down her spine. The air grew heavy, almost suffocating, as if the room itself was holding its breath. A soft, haunting melody filled the room, its notes weaving through the air like a ghostly whisper. The tune was beautiful, yet undeniably eerie, like the whisper of a ghost. It seemed to come from another time, another world. As Maya listened, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her. The sensation was so strong it was as if eyes were boring into her from the shadows. The melody seemed to seep into the very walls of her room, making them pulse with an otherworldly energy. The shadows seemed to dance and twist, taking on shapes that were almost human, but not quite. The temperature dropped, and Maya shivered, pulling her blanket tighter around herself. The music stopped abruptly, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. Silence descended, thick and suffocating, as if the room itself was holding its breath. Maya tried to convince herself it was just her imagination, that the music box was just an old trinket. The music had unsettled her, its haunting melody lingering in her mind. She closed the music box and tried to ignore the feeling of unease, telling herself it was just a coincidence. But she couldn't shake the way the raven on the lid seemed to stare at her with its beady, silver eyes, as if it knew something she didn't. The next day at school, Maya couldn't stop thinking about the music box and the strange events of the previous night. The melody echoed in her mind. She told her best friend, Olivia, about the music box.
You're letting that creepy shopkeeper get to you. It's just an old music box.
Olivia, a skeptic, dismissed Maya's concerns as nerves. Maya, however, couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. That night, Olivia came over to Maya's house. They were going to watch a movie. As they were picking out a film, the music box in the other room began to play on its own. The haunting melody filled the house. Olivia froze. Her eyes widened in fear as she stared at Maya.
What is that?
She whispered, her voice trembling. The music grew louder, more insistent, filling every corner of the room with its haunting melody. It seemed to reverberate through their bones, sending shivers down their spines.
Olivia, do you hear that? It's getting louder. It's almost unbearable.
The shadows in the room stretched and contorted, taking on monstrous shapes. The temperature plummeted, making the air feel icy. The air grew thick with a cold, unseen presence, as if the room itself was alive with malevolent energy.
Maya, I'm scared. What's happening? This doesn't feel right.
Olivia and Maya huddled together on the couch, paralyzed with fear, their hearts pounding in their chests. Whispers seemed to come from the music box, growing louder and more distinct.
Do you hear the whispers? They sound like they're trying to tell us something. They sound so sorrowful and angry. It's like they're filled with pain and rage.
They spoke of sorrow and rage, their voices echoing with a deep, haunting sadness. They spoke of a vengeful spirit trapped within, a soul unable to find peace. The music reached a crescendo, its intensity almost unbearable. The lights flickered and died, plunging the room into an oppressive darkness. The house was plunged into darkness, the only sound the echo of their own breathing.
Maya, the lights, what's going on?
The music stopped abruptly, leaving behind a chilling silence that seemed to stretch on forever. The shadows retreated, and the temperature slowly returned to normal, as if the room was releasing its grip on them. Olivia and Maya were left trembling in the dark, their minds racing with fear and confusion.
Olivia, are you okay? It's finally over. I think we're safe now. I'm not sure, but I think we need to get rid of that music box, Maya. It's too dangerous to keep.
Maya knew she had to do something. She had to get rid of the music box. The next morning, she grabbed the box and raced back to Thornhill Curiosities. She burst through the door, desperation lending speed to her feet. The old shopkeeper didn't seem surprised to see her. He looked at her with a mixture of pity and grim satisfaction.
I warned you, child, some things are best left undisturbed.
Maya pleaded with the shopkeeper.
You have to help me. The music box, it's cursed. It's tormenting me and my friend.
The shopkeeper sighed and looked at Maya with ancient, knowing eyes.
Very well, but it won't be easy.
The shopkeeper led Maya to a back room. It was filled with strange symbols and objects. The air crackled with an unseen energy. He explained that the music box was inhabited by a restless spirit, trapped and fueled by anger. They would need to perform a ritual to appease the spirit and free it from its prison. He handed Maya a silver bell and a small, leather-bound book. He began to chant in a language Maya didn't understand.
Ring the bell and read from the book.
The words felt strange in her mouth, tasting of cold metal and ancient magic. The room grew colder, and the shadows deepened as the spirit's presence grew stronger. The music box on the table began to shake violently. Its eerie melody filled the room, louder and more frantic than before. The shadows swirled around them, twisting and turning into menacing shapes. Maya's voice trembled as she continued to read from the book, her fear almost paralyzing. She knew she had to be strong. She had to finish the ritual. The shopkeeper's voice grew louder, his chanting echoing Maya's words. The air crackled with energy. The shadows pressed in on them. The music box shuddered one last time and fell silent. A cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing the candles. The shadows vanished and the room was plunged into darkness. When the shopkeeper relit the candles, Maya could see he was exhausted, but there was a hint of triumph in his eyes.
It is done. The spirit is free.
Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. She was finally safe. She picked up the music box. It felt different now, cold to the touch, but the eerie presence was gone. She thanked the shopkeeper and left the shop. As she stepped outside, she thought she heard a faint whisper on the wind. It seemed to come from the music box. It was a whisper of thanks, but there was also a hint of something else, something cold and menacing, something that sent a shiver down Maya's spine. She hurried home, unable to shake the feeling that the music box's story wasn't over yet.